But I think it's going to become eminently clear they can't gerrymander their way out. It's going to be a significant House Democratic majority. It's going to be increasingly likely that the Democrats get the Senate back. And if you think of the crazy shit he's doing now, just imagine a year from now. Just imagine. They had a meeting in the White House with the Deputy Attorney General, the head of the FBI, the Chief of Staff of the White House to try to figure out what to do about the Epstein case. I mean, that normally that would be the outrage of outrage. It would be screaming headlines. Regress to say in Phoenix, Arizona, when Bill Clinton met with Loretta Lynch, the then Attorney General, for 10 minutes on an airplane with FBI and Secret Service agent presence, everybody had a meltdown. This happened, and people commented on it. Again, I don't know. Now you have occupying troops in the capital city. The deficit for the month of July alone was something like $271 billion in 1 month. Any one of these things would be off the chart outrageous. Collectively, that's the sort of problem that we're faced with. There's so much, and it's so hard to pick out. And I guess to some extent, that's what they're counting on. But it's just going to get increasingly worse. No one thinks that this is stuff, we would talk about, oh, it's going to be so bad. It's going to be awful. We can't imagine. And we kind of thought that, we could not imagine. In my wildest dreams, I would never project that he would occupy a city with a significantly declining crime rate. You just couldn't imagine. There are Laura Loomer attacking a Medal of Honor winner. Who in the world would attack a Medal of Honor winner? Oh, Laura Loomer would. And the kind of back and forth between her and Marty Taylor Greene. I mean, these people don't have any shame. They don't have any pride. They don't have anything. It's just all to call them trailer trash. There are a lot of people that live in trailers that lead honorable lives. I mean, let's be honest here. A lot of people try to pay their bills. A lot of people do this. It's beyond anything that we can pick out. The scope of it is so horrendous. I'm overwhelmed by it. And all I can say, people, is please, Virginia, please, New Jersey, send that SOS signal out. Send it out in the clear. Send it loud. Let everybody hear it.
And now questions from our listeners. Great ones as always. And by the way, if we didn't get to yours this week, send it again because we may well get to it next week. James, the first question is from Wes in Athens, Georgia, home of the Bulldogs. He said, last week's show, you said Kamala Harris should not run again because people want to turn the page. How is her running again any different than Donald Trump running after he was defeated?
I think people want to turn the page from him. I mean, I just think I have. Look, she served as Attorney General of the largest state. She served in the United States Senate, representing the largest state. She was Vice President of the United States. She was the presidential nominee in 2024. My sense is, I'm sorry, I think people will be looking. I don't think anybody that had anything to do with 2024 is going to be who the Democrats want around in 2028. That's what I really believe. And doesn't, she's had a distinguished career in American politics, but 2028 is not her year.
Well, I couldn't agree more, and I read a story the other day that the Biden people are putting out the word, warning her, don't you dare criticize Joe Biden or we'll come after you. Don't those people realize nobody cares? They are yesterday. They are gone. I mean,
I saw that story.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, come on. Look, again, 30 years in the United States Senate, you chair judiciary, you chair foreign relations. You might be the most accomplished people post-World War II America that maybe there is. You were vice president for 8 years. You were president for 4 years. For God's sakes, man, just enjoy your well-deserved rest.
No question.
Jeez.
James, we're going globally today.
Good.
Tom in Toronto says Trump
Oh.
is moving the military to D.C. Is this another distraction from Epstein, which we have discussed, or preparation to defend against an insurrection? Tom, I think that if Trump doesn't get his way with gerrymandering, he will in Texas, but if he can't thwart California gerrymandering really does matter a great deal. And if he can't thwart that, and it looks like he's going to lose the House, I don't think it's far-fetched at all to think he is going to use the term insurrection and call off the election. Would I bet on that happening? No. But do I think it's remote? No.
I think it's more so. This is what I hope happens. This is realistic. This could happen. Virginia and New Jersey fulfill our wildest dreams. They turn into where you just the margin becomes, it's just undeniable. He feels that. And of course, I'm gonna take a little time here. When that happens, then the image of the Democratic Party is going to start to go up. Why? Because other Democrats are going to see the Democrats won elections, so they're going to start feeling bad about it. Then people's attention is going to turn to 2026. And everybody that we want to recruit, we're getting. Now Sherwood Brown says he is going to run in Ohio. I can't tell you how significant a decision that is. That a guy that age, and it certainly seems like Governor Janet Mills is leaning toward running in Maine. The point is, all of the things that you want to happen for us in 2026 are starting to happen. You're going to start to see things for them that are not going to happen. He is going to see a massive 26 coming. And when I tell you that I don't really think the Senate is anywhere close to being out of reach. I don't want to assign a 50-50 or 45-55 number to it because it's senseless. But I think it's going to become eminently clear they can't gerrymander their way out. It's going to be a significant House Democratic majority. It's going to be increasingly likely that the Democrats get the Senate back. And if you think of the crazy shit he's doing now, just imagine a year from now. Just imagine. And the Democrats need to set up like Walter and Seth and Don Verliano did, and they set up a whole legal team and anticipating for the election fight after the 2020 election. They have to set up a highly skilled legal communications team. Need to get ready to put stuff out because this son of a bitch, to me, it is a likely scenario that they get slaughtered beyond comprehension in Virginia and New Jersey. The Poland goes totally south on the coming midterms, and if you think what they doing now is something, wait till you see what they're getting ready to do.
Yeah.
And you cannot sound the alarm loud enough. You can't talk about it too much. You can't even imagine. It's going to take preparation because the electoral slaughter, I think, is coming. And he is not going to sit there and not try something to keep him getting like utterly humiliated. And that's what's getting ready to happen to him.
Henry in New Orleans, good question, says, isn't it time for the Democratic establishment to rally behind Mondami in New York to be able to share the credit for his win rather than sit on the sidelines creating the false narrative that the socialists have taken over the party?
But first of all, my friend, I have no fucking idea what the Democratic establishment is. Okay, I understand.
Yeah, but you know what he's talking about. I mean, it may not be the establishment. Yeah.
I kind of do.
Yeah.
The Schumer hockey. I kind of do. Don't. Uh, the guy's going to win, and I think that the smarter thing to do. I mean, and he's the only one that's offering anything. By the way, the Andrew and Eric Adams. I mean, and by the way, did you see that Curtis? How you pronounce his name? The guy's been around, a guardian angel. He's a Republican. He doesn't even want Trump's nomination. He doesn't want Trump's endorsement. The guy, the Republican in New York.
Yeah.
The guardian angel guy. He's been in the news for shit, I don't know, last 35 years. But Madonna's going to win. He's going to make, of course, they're going to try to blow him up into something else. But I got to tell you, the guy's got skill. And, life in New York, I'm here right now. I'm coming in. I was just looking at like the transit trains and people getting in. And life is hard. And the guy is talking about things that really matter to people. And most people think he's actually going to carry the Jewish vote. I have no idea. I'm just telling you, that's what people tell me. I don't know if it's necessary for, I don't think the Democratic establishment getting behind him is, if anything, wouldn't help him at all. Maybe they ought to just keep their distance and let the guy win and let show if he can govern.
I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing that would help him, and that is if Trump comes out against him. I think the one person who wants Trump involved in New York is Mandami.
Good. The guy, the Republican nominee, doesn't even want Trump involved.
Right. He's the guy.
And of course, he can't help it because he can raise money off of it.
Yeah.
And he can gas up the people at Fox or anything else. Look, do I agree with everything he said in his 20s? Shit, no, I don't agree with everything I said in my own 20s. But Donnie's shown himself to be a politician of you always knew he was kind of smart, but he's kind of disciplined and to the point.
Yeah.
And, our Democrats have people in that are more aggressively pro-change than a lot of other people. Yeah, but I'm glad we have those. At least we don't have reactionaries.
Okay, Pete in Raleigh, North Carolina says, Dr. Phil said on Bill Maher's show that ICE agents have to wear masks because they and their families are being targeted. What do you think of that argument? I guess by that logic, police ought to wear masks, right? Everybody ought to wear masks. I'm sure there's some cases where it might be justified. I think because I'm sure some of these are good people, but I think it has more to do with the thuggery mindset that Homan and others have brought to these ICE operations.
That guy, it seemed to be had a really kind of soothing TV personality. I think it was a creation of Oprah Winfrey, actually. And his flirtation and fooling around on the right, I don't think it's very smart for him professionally. And it doesn't fit in. But I don't watch the show a lot. It was on there, but I'll watch it. That big local news. I'd watch the lead in. And he seems to be, or was, a man of some charm. And this is what you're going to be remembered for. I don't know, just the most successful TV psychologist. I don't have no idea. But why are you doing this to your legacy, to your reputation? I don't get what motivates these people. I really don't.
Well, I'm less enamored with his past, but certainly not enamored with what he is now.
I don't know that much. Just seem like a kind of soothing guy and a good stick.
He was a little quackish, but Cameron in Brisbane, Australia. We're going down under now, James. He said, is there any way for a U.S. opposition party to select something akin to an interim leader until the next primary process, I guess he's talking about 28, elects a person to lead the party?
Well, I mean, they elect the leader of the House, like the Senate Democrats elect the leader, the DNC. There's not going to be a leader of the Democratic Party in this system. There is no leader until you have a presidential nominee. That's the bad news. The bad news is we're not going to have a leader until a little less than, what is it, 3 years from now? But when we do, we're gonna have a good one. And in the meantime, if you become the majority and you have the speakership and you have the majority of the Senate, then you become more relevant and the leadership enhances itself. Again, I go back. I can't think past Virginia and New Jersey, and we can parlay that into something else.
Kelly in West North Carolina asks, what are thoughts on the open U.S. Senate seat in North Carolina now that incumbent Republican Tillis has announced he's not seeking re-election? It's 2 words, Roy Cooper. Roy Cooper is going to win that seat. Roy Cooper has won every statewide election that he's ever had. I forget whether it's 6 or 7, but he is the most successful North Carolina politician in a long time. He's running against a former party chair, sort of a dull, nondescript guy. The only chance the Republicans would have would be if it were a big GOP year. It's not going to be that. Cooper's a great candidate. He's going to win.
But yeah, we're going to win North Carolina. If it comes down to North Carolina, I think we're going to win Maine. And out of Ohio, Iowa, Texas, Mississippi, Florida, Alaska, we got to pick up 2. And I every day that I see, wouldn't say if the election were held today, we'd do that. But the way I see things going, I think we're going to pick up. We're going to have a majority in the Senate.
Well, you got to do that, James, but you also have to defend Georgia, Michigan, Minnesota, which I think is very doable. But 1 or 2 of those might be tough.
If you win Iowa, you're going to win Michigan.
Yeah.
In Minnesota, it doesn't. I agree. If you win North Carolina by the amount that I think that Cooper's going to win it by, you're not going to lose Georgia. They just run in tandem. Now, if it becomes a 50-50 year, if it's a 2022, which was actually a good year for Democrats, but then you kind of pick and choose. I hope right now I feel like it's not going to be a pick and choose election. I think that and again, I be a one-trick pony. Virginia and New Jersey is going to tell us a lot, well, a real lot.
And the final question, before we get to the final question, I just want our listeners to know that I guess they've just announced who is going to host the Kennedy Center Honors in December. That's a job that's been done by some of the great entertainers in America, from David Letterman to some of the great Hollywood stars. This year, it is going to be hosted by, are you ready, James? Donald J. Trump.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I know CBS. I'm sorry, I ain't gonna watch it that night.
I'm gonna.
I'm not.
I think he's gonna make a fucking fool of himself.
Well, I can watch that the next day.
Yeah, anyway. I watched it. I don't know, but understand, it's gonna get worse and worse and worse.
We got 1 more question, James. Charlie in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Says, isn't the reason abortion didn't play a major role in 2024 is the different electorate in a presidential year?
Well, the reason we lost is Democrats didn't come out and vote. Trump didn't get more votes in 2024. They got in 2020. I was kind of surprised, after Kansas and the 2022, I think there was a real feeling that it turned out to not be the issue that Democrats thought it would be, kind of hoped it would be. and I, maybe people felt like if they lived in a state that they were protected, and they lived in, Texas or Louisiana, it didn't matter. I don't know, but it certainly did not turn out into the issue that we thought it would be. I don't think it drove a lot of voting behavior in 24.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to be a huge issue this time, with one very important caveat. If, as they are under pressure to do, the FDA in any way cracks down on the mailing of that abortion pill, I think that is going to energize that pro-choice group and women, and I think it will make a difference. I don't think Trump wants them to do that, but they're under a lot of pressure because the pro-life people are coming saying, "Hey, we delivered for you, and now we're finding that abortions are up, and so you got to do this." I don't know how he'll resolve that, but that would be a gift to Democrats.
The states with the highest abortion rates, I think, are the states that outlaw it.
Yeah.
There's always been more abortions in Ireland and Italy, and Italy's never been illegal, and it's now legal in Ireland. If you want fewer abortions, I'm not sure. Maybe we should get somebody on here that outlawing is the best way to achieve that goal. I think there's a lot of evidence to the contrary.
Yeah,
but whatever it is, it didn't turn out to be as big an issue as we thought.
Right.
And
right.
I don't, that tells you something about something. I'm not sure what.
Well, one thing I will tell you is keep those questions and emails coming in. We love them. We'll get to as many as we can. And if you are disappointed we didn't get to one this week, send it again.